Welcome to 5D Channels and Chats Special Edition podcast. I am Rachel Chamness, a shamanic channel and mentor at Soundwaves Heal. Today's episode is part of a special series to give you a real peek inside TAG, my monthly membership. This is a community of lightworkers looking to deepen their connection to higher dimensional light beings and their extraordinary healing and light grids. Lightworkers, what you're about to experience is just a fraction of what we do in TAG every program, not to mention the extensive library of healings, meditations, and transmissions from higher dimensional light beings that is constantly growing. If this sounds like what you've been looking for to advance your light work, we would love to have you. Go to soundwaveshill.com/tag and sign up. We can't wait to welcome you. I'm Rachel Chamness at soundwaveshill.com. I'm a shamanic channel and mentor, and I help lightworkers connect and channel higher beings of light for healing and guidance. So in the last episode, we had a Lemurian celestial teacher, Salavu, bring forth a Lemurian crystal heart activation that I really loved, and I'd love to hear what you thought of that episode. This time we're bringing through Ephram, who is an alchemist elf, to help balance giving and receiving for abundance and give you an activation for that. We're going to begin with a liquid Reiki shamanic sound healing for clearing the 3D matrix and connecting deeply into fifth dimensional presence for this episode. This helps with the activation coming up. I am Ephram, and I am an alchemist from the Fae, and you would call me an elf. That is true. I am well known to this person, and she has brought me through many times. What is alchemy? It is the transmutation, the magic properties of transmutation of anything. Is this not why you are here? So that you may transmute lower energy to higher. In the true essence of Earth and its inhabitants, and those of you who will bring Earth to a fifth dimensional place, are you not all alchemists? Transmuting trauma into higher dimensional positive attributes, finding new and beautiful things from what was once pain. Is this not how you walk through this world? It is. And if you have discovered that, then you know that it is part of the human experience, yes. However, in the essence of it, that is the goal of Earth in itself. Why is there a place called Earth where all of this transmutation is taking place? What is the purpose of this in the galaxy? Well, it is because it is a transmutation of lower dimensional emotions into higher ones. It is another alchemy of love in its true essence. While you are here, while there are others here, while all of you are on this path either to ascension or to be a third dimensional being of lower dimensional feelings and emotions. Either way, all is being transformed here. It is a great place to bring emotions that must be transformed. Why do spirits come into a body to come through this time on Earth yet not ascend? Why do those choose the lower path, the third dimensional path? Here's a question that not many of you ask. Why would they choose that? That is because they bring with them density from prior lives that needs a great transmutation. And so to truly express this darkness in this life, It is able to be transformed once the end of the third dimensional timeline has been expressed. Then these souls can go back to source with a true clearing of all of this darkness. Many of you transmute many points of darkness or lower dimensional realities through your life here, and then transmute more through the next life and transmute more in the next life. These beings on the third dimensional or fourth dimensional path are transmuting a great deal in one life, what could be 4 lives or 5 lives or 6 lives. It is not an easy path, and yet they have chosen it. You are an alchemist here, and you are transmuting to a higher vibration all the time. The third dimensional path does not transmute until the path has ended. But you are here for transmutation of small things always. And so every little bit that you can transmute helps you and helps the planet. And it's part of the great design of Earth's transmutational properties. And so I, as an alchemist, provide this kind of help for transmutation on this plane. And there are many, like myself, who help many others transmute their density into light on this plane. You are often called lightworkers, and now you know why, for you are working to transmute into light, and it has a grander design. In this stage of ascension, you may be becoming more aware of this, aware of how you transmute and how quickly do you do it. When there is trauma, when there is negative aspects of your life, how deep do you go down the lower vibrational scale of emotions before you come to the conclusion of what needs to be healed, changed, or fixed to get through this lower dimensional frequency to reach a higher one? This is often called shadow work. And here you are getting better and better at this. This is very important. And this is a very important time for this. I would like to talk about the balance of giving and receiving. There are many ways in which this needs to be in balance. Are you overgiving without reciprocation? Are you overgiving to those who do not wish for what you are giving? Are you giving for a purpose that is not as pure as you think it is? Are you giving from a place of your true heart to help without a need for response? Or are you giving because you want the response? You want to show your ability. You want to be important. This is not a balance of giving. You must give from a place where you do not need any reciprocation of thank you or any elevation of your own status through the eyes of the other. And yet you don't want to give to those who do not wish for your gift or who will not be open to receive. Now, there are many times in this world where you will give out of your heart to someone who has trouble receiving, and that is okay. But if they continue to refuse to accept, then it is time to move on to someone you can help. And of course, with all of this giving from your heart, you must always be open for receiving. Let's talk about receiving. Is your heart open for receiving help of all kinds? Or do you have trauma that prevents you from receiving? You must have balance within the giving, as we spoke about, for others and in the way that you give. Now you need balance in receiving. When one gives you a gift or a purchase or their time or their help, it is often the universe lending a hand through another. And will you receive it? Are you open? When you think of others helping, How does it feel within your breast? Does it feel open, allowed, or does it feel restricted? Do you feel you don't need help? These are very good ways to check in on your receiving. It is very important to balance this. And then again, to also balance giving and receiving, always checking in where you're giving, if it is being received. When others give to you or you give to others, they can reciprocate, or you may receive the reciprocation through a pay it forward, as you might call it, from another. Are you feeling in balance for all of the energy coming to you to be received as much as you are giving? It does not have to be to and from a single person in balance, but in balance in the overall. This is very important. You must value what you give and understand also that there is a time within this third and fourth density where financial money has a great role. And until you have transcended this money, you still need it to survive. And where are you giving because you do not believe that others will pay for such a gift? And here is another way that light workers tend to overgive, by not valuing their own gifts and help. Have you figured out yet that your goal in ascension could be to live your favorite gift as a business? Or could it be that you love your business and your work and you do light work as a side to help you balance your life within the third dimension and the fifth dimension? It is different for everyone. But the goal is, as a light worker in this density, to enjoy your day and to not have a drudgery work that pulls light from you. You should be enjoying your work, no matter what it is. It does not need to be light work in itself. It does not need to be grand or well accomplished with many degrees. It can be simple work if it makes you happy. These are other balances in your life that you should be looking at. Okay, this is Rachel. I just want to come in here for a minute because the way that he is speaking is possibly hard to truly understand. And I believe that it's easier when I can tell you what he's showing me. So what he's showing me is that there are many, many different layers in balancing the giving and receiving. So if you're a Reiki practitioner, you already know that you always should have some sort of reciprocation when you give a session that is using a lot of energy and you're putting a lot of yourself into, that there should always be some reciprocation. It doesn't always have to be money, but that there should be something given back. And that is something that is so important in Reiki because it is shown that people value what they pay for more than what they are given. And so he's talking about where we give things to people even though we don't ask for anything back, and that there's so many layers in that. Are you giving it, like he's saying, because you want some great reaction, or you want to be elevated in their eyes, or are you giving it truly from the heart with no need for reciprocation or anything? Of course, if they reciprocate, you will accept, right? And then where are you not receiving? So it doesn't have to be tit for tat where I've given you this, now you owe me this, or it's not even, it doesn't have to be like that. It can be a pay it forward. I like that he used those words. Those are words that we understand here on earth. Pay it forward. People have given me many things. I have paid it forward, given to others who have nothing to give or aren't in a place to give anything at all. And that's okay. He's not asking you to not be generous. He's asking you to check in with yourself and make sure that you are receiving. So a little bit about me and my life is that I have actually been deep diving in this sort of feeling. Where in my life am I not completely open to receiving? Where is there fear? fear of what? Of being seen, of being mocked, or other fears. We have these fears from childhood or from errant thoughts or the 3D collective affecting us. And we sometimes have to dig for them. And what I have found is that just by sitting and bringing attention to how I feel about receiving multiple times a week has really helped my receiving. How do I feel about receiving at this time? If you were to sit right now, if you were to pause this and sit and say, how do I feel about receiving? You might find that it does feel a little closed. It does feel like there's some walls up. And these walls come from trauma, from ways that people have treated us badly, or they could come from fear. So, once you see that, you acknowledge that, you can release it. I release that and I open and allow. I trust in the universe and in my spirit guides and my angels and guides to keep me safe. And this is very important. We need to be open. Where you have walls, you need to work on the shadow work to release that. All of that is part of our ascension, to becoming truly into ourselves and truly into the light with nothing hidden and nothing blocked. And so that's what we're working on. So I hope that what he's saying is making sense. There are just so many layers, and he talked about so many of them so quickly that I hope it came through well. I'm going to bring him back in and have him talk about the activation he's going to give us. Lightworkers, I hope that you are being so deeply enriched by this episode and these connections. There's truly nothing that compares for your growth as a human, a healer, and a business owner to connect to the messages and healing of higher dimensional light beings who are here for our ascension. They are literally there waiting for you to ask for their guidance and help in all of these areas. And in our Tag Lightworker membership, we access them together every day and strengthen our ability to access them individually. If this sounds like the place for you, go to soundwavesheal.com, click on the membership button and sign up. We can't wait to see you there. There are so many ways to balance the giving and receiving. I have mentioned a few, and I would ask you to think about it and add more to your mental list of where balancing and receiving must be even, must be flowing. It is never stagnant. And it must be the whole, all of the giving and the receiving to be whole. And when all of this is flowing and feels even, or even at the end of the period, and then of course it's going to go up and down again, it cannot be a stagnant even, then we are in the flow of abundance. What is abundance? It is not always financial abundance. It could be the abundance of spirituality, presence, and energy. It could be the abundance of life, love, and joy. It could be the abundance of money, sure, but why do you want the abundance of money? So that you can have an abundance of freedom, of joy, and of time. And so when you ask for abundance, ask for what you want. Joy, time, freedom, and let this abundance flow by balancing the giving and the receiving. This activation will highlight for you where you are not balancing giving and receiving. It may come unto you later or throughout your dreamscape or perhaps in a moment of silence, but it will continue to come to you so that you can continue to tweak your balance here of giving and receiving. And when you do, you will find the flow of abundance is a stronger flow. Now from my 5D Daily Facebook group, we have a question for Ephram from Christina Watson.
What happens to our bodies, physical, mental, spiritual, etc., when we are out of alignment and give too much to others, or vice versa, continually take from others' generosity?
Great question. What happens when you are out of alignment of the giving and receiving is that you will feel that you are low on receiving something important. An abundance of time, an abundance of finances, an abundance of other beautiful things in your life. And when this is out of sync, you will feel your energy is lower. You are more susceptible to lower vibrational emotions. And this, of course, affects your body deeply. It affects your spiritual body. And as you know, emotions rule the physical body as well. And so you may have physical problems. You may have aches and pains. You may have more sickness or more exhaustion. And so when you balance the giving and the receiving in your life, then you will find that you feel better physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Of course, all of these bodies are related and work with each other with emotions in your psyche. Oh, that's a good answer. We have another question from Christina for Ephram.
An equal energy exchange here is typically when services are exchanged for money. As a society, will we be moving more towards a barter system in the future? And if we are, how would we gauge a truly equal exchange?
Oh, that's a great question. You will not be moving towards a barter system. Even bartering is too much, as I called it, tit for tat. It is too much of the third dimensional collective. Instead, you will be moving towards a system of freely giving, all freely giving. And when all are freely giving, then receiving is easy, for there is no reason not to receive when all are truly giving from their heart. And so there won't be any of those who take without giving. It is a different type of society you are moving towards. And it may be difficult to understand in this heavy density of earth, but you will begin to understand it as time goes on. I've seen that and it's so beautiful, so I love it. Our next question is from Margaret for Ephram.
Hi, Rachel. I have a question. What healing can we call upon the alchemist elves for?
All of you have an alchemist guide, and this may be an elf or other type of being of light, and you may call on them to help you alchemize in your life, to transmute lower vibrational emotions and thoughts forms to higher vibrational ones. As we have discussed, this is the destiny of Earth and of your life here in its essence, the constant alchemy into higher dimensional light. Call on your alchemist guide to help you with this. I love that. I help people meet their alchemist guide in my Tag Trance program, where I help people learn how to trance channel with their most important inner band spirit guides. And there is an alchemist within those guides. Our next question for Ephram is from Sarah.
Hi, Rachel. I would like to ask Ephram, what are some things that we overlook in today's society that will help balance us emotionally and balance our nervous system?
This is a great question, very related. What is overlooked many times is actually nature. Nature has been brought forward for you to help balance your emotions. Walking on the ground, hiking through nature, walking through nature can help you with grounding, with releasing energy. Being surrounded by trees and other fae that you may or may not be able to see, but are there, can help you with your transmutation of all emotions. And it will help you keep balanced within these emotions to help you with your alchemy. And so going out in nature, going for hikes and walks, taking deep breaths and grounding yourself in a place where you can find more nature than city is more important than you think and should be done more often than any of you. For I see that most humans do not take enough time in nature itself. I love that answer. I just love it. And especially because this earth is really a fae earth. It's all about the fae. It's their earth. And so you're going to find them in nature and they're going to help you. And the tree spirits are a beautiful, beautiful type of being who will help you so much release and release. And that's what we're doing, is releasing. So it's just perfect. Please go out into nature today and do it more. Really go for a walk in it and really connect with the trees and the fae that you might sense or might not sense, but just be. And I think that is just the best advice ever. It's simple, but really, really important. Now Ephram will be giving us the activation. Gloria Samanakei Ayaleo Ayakacho di Amane Amaneo Ayamayanotu Ayadoyomania Saya Ayo Ayamayano Shukiti Alaye Shukati Amane Amana Hei Alokari Amanitsu Aya Hokotu Chusi Alalaia Ono di Amma Arari Alokari Asayamanai Anna Choti Amai Ayano Kochita Hu Ayanai Ho Ayakatayeji 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 Amane Akachuti Hayane Haya Hai Apato Juzi Hapakatai Thank you so much, Ephram. That was really interesting. Whenever I trans-channel Ephram, I feel his hands are so interesting. My fingers feel really long. I feel these long oval fingernails, which I obviously don't have. And this time I also saw these crazy eyebrows and this interesting crown of wood that seemed to be growing from his head, which I've never seen that before, and I've tranced him many times. So I felt that he is also really connected to the trees after seeing that. So that was really interesting for me too. I hope that you receive this well and you find much abundance and much balance in your life, and that you experience much joy and time and freedom in your life in abundance. Our next episode will be Galactic Water Beings, Consciousness of Water with a Fluidity Activation, which should be very interesting. And thank you so much for coming. See you next time. Lightworkers, what an honor it has been to share this space with you again. I hope you have received guidance and clarity from our time here together. Remember that this is just the tiny tip of the iceberg of what's available to you in the Tag Lightworkers membership. Come join us at soundwaveshill.com. I can't wait to meet you inside. Until then, this has been Rachel Chamness on 5D Channels and Chats Special Edition Podcast. See you next time.